Let's start with page setup. So I'm going to set the vinyl to 600 width, and my machine is a Cameo 4 Pro, and I am selecting no cutting mat, and I have an auto blade. And now to make the logo. So I have an image of the Raptor logo, so there it is on the page now. I'm going to select the trace icon over on the panel there. So I'm going to select trace area. I'm going to put the quality up to maximum, select the trace area and click and drag around the image, and then it will highlight in yellow, and then I'm going to select trace. Now we have traced our image, we can resize it up here, adjusting the width and height. With the lock icon there, it will keep in proportion. If you need to make adjustments to the height or width separately, you can do so. Then I'm selecting the items and grouping them together, and this icon here will duplicate it easily, or you can select object, replicate, and then duplicate right, left, above, etc. I have made duplicates of this logo and resized them to my needs, and I'm just going to put what I've sized and duplicated onto the cut sheet. So now I have all the logos in position on the cut sheet. I'm going to send it to the machine. I'm going to select my material, which is a glossy vinyl. So I'm going to scroll down. There's lots of options here. I'll scroll down to vinyl glossy. You can see here the force is set to 5 and the speed at 6. You can adjust these if you need to. I would recommend doing a test cut to see if the settings are correct for you. I've set my blade depth to 2 and passes of 1. We use a 3 to 5 year sign vinyl for our stencils. Just going to load it into the machine now. And I unravel a little bit when the log is really heavy, because the machine sometimes struggles to pull it through, and then that will cause issues with the cut. And I also make sure that the blade cutter at the back is up. So let's get cutting. When the cut's finished, I feed the vinyl through to the end of the cut, and I use the blades at the back to slice across the vinyl, giving a nice neat cut. Now I'm ready to start weeding the logos. First of all, I peel off the excess vinyl. You will notice I've put boxes around our logos. This is so that we can peel the vinyl back easier, and also whether we use the logos in positive or negative form. Here we are going to use the logo in a positive form, so that means that I'm leaving the stencil behind rather than taking it out. So first of all, I'm going to start just by peeling off the boxed areas, and then I'll take out the middles next. Now I've finished weeding all my logos, I'm going to add a clear application tape. This can get quite static, so it's worth just taking your time doing this. So I always start from the back, let it take, and then pop it down gently, and then rub it into place using a felt pad. The logos on this Raptor frame are going to be in gold, and I'm going to use this line as a guide as to where to put the logo. There I am, just offering it up into place for you to see. Okay, so going to press down the application tape, make sure all parts of the logo are stuck. Peel the backing, leaving the logo behind on the clear. Pop it into place. I always tack down one corner with my thumb, and then we can get it all lined up. It's worth taking your time here just to get it in the correct place. Once you're happy, press it all down, and then you can rub it into place. It's worth taking pictures of the logos on the original frame before you prep it, and also measurements, so then you can get it back in the same position and also the same size as previous if that is required. Once the logo is stuck in place, carefully peel back the application tape and taking it back on itself nice and gently, leaving the logo behind. And just take a little extra time to make sure all the letters are stuck in place. Now to repeat on the other side. I use tape as a guideline to mark where the logo on the other side is, so we can get this one in the same position. So I've removed the backing paper and I'm just popping this side into place, carefully lining it up, not pushing down until I'm happy with the position, and just making a slight adjustment. And then when I'm happy with the position, just going to remove the guideline there because it's under my logo and in the way, and press it and rub it down to make sure the letters are all stuck. And once they're all stuck in place, again I'm just going to carefully peel back and remove the application tape. And now I'm going to repeat those same steps on the fork. Now I have the first side in position. I'm going to use tape as a marker from the bottom of the fork, so there's one piece, and then lay over another piece, and then there's going to be a third bit going up to the logo. I'm going to peel and remove this and use it on the other side as a guideline as to where to start the logo. Wasn't quite happy that I got this side in the right position, so I called the boss over to take a look, and he agreed that we were slightly off centre. So I'm going to peel it off and start again.
Remember to put a bit of tape alongside of those, so you've got reference. So tape at the bottom, and then put tape where you want it to go to. So, you know, bring the tape over a smidgen here. I always use this stuff to get a straighter line.
That's rigid tape.
Okay, yeah.
So what am I doing?
Well, you can look at it and you can see how far you think you need to take that off. See, what do you think? That needs to go over about 1 millimetre. So put the tape.
Yeah, that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the top's fine. So hit the top where it is, and just come over one mil. I think so, yeah. Because if you're moving that way 1 mil, you're moving away from this way a millimetre as well, but you get double.
Great tip there from Al. As you can tell, I'm also still learning. So I'm going to peel and remove off this logo, carefully sliding the scalpel blade underneath and peeling it back. I don't want to damage my base coat at this stage. So last stencil on the head tube, just rubbing it into place on the centre, peeling back the application tape and leaving the stencil behind. Now it's time to apply the top coat. So this is going to be a lovely metallic forest green. Once the top coat has dried, we give it about 10-15 minutes. Going to carefully start removing the stencil. We use a scalpel with a blade 10A, and we prefer to use them when they've been slightly used rather than sharp out of the packet. When they're really sharp, they tend to be attracted to the frame like a magnet, and you can get pick issues, so we like to use them when they're slightly warm. When we find a really good blade, we tend to hold on to that knife for this purpose. So instead of digging the blade in, you want to carefully slide the blade underneath the logo, and once you have it lifted, then get it with your thumb and then pull it back nice and gently, revealing the logo underneath. So now just for one final logo. This is our Fat Creations logo. I have weeded this one in a negative form because the letters are quite tiny. So same principle applies, pressing it into place, peeling back the application tape very, very gently, ensuring that all parts of the logo are left in place. And now all I need to do is mask around this. Mask more than you think, especially with metallic colours with high glitter, because they tend to get everywhere, and at this stage we want to avoid any overspray. Once you have removed your masking, use your scalpel to gently remove the stencil.